Andrea Currie. Who the heck is this chick? She just wandered into my craft room.
I saw there was glitter. I just kind of showed up.
This is a great creative friend of mine, Renee Rounds. And she is the first person to be in the Craft-Tastic studio, not only just bugging me, but also, also doing an awesome craft for us tonight, which means we're going to have a super awesome evening. Everybody, welcome. It is the second Craft-Tastic Live of the month, and if you are newer to Craft-Tastic Live, this is a sparkly stage inspiration. Yes, and brave people come on live camera and sometimes in the studio, and they actually will craft with us. So we are very excited.
Is the sound down?
Everybody's asking, what's going on? So it's definitely a really fun show tonight, not only because we have Renee in the studio, but also because we have some other great demos by Lee Brehon, also Cynthia, Gagen, myself, and we have a fun little segment to show you from maybe a museum. It's just a fun little segment. I'll show you guys later about the inspiration for tonight that Cliff and I got at the Museum of Man. And you can guess where that's going. And we also have the Craft-Tastic Live Crafter Showcase, which is your work that you sent in to us to showcase to everybody here. And it's a really cool, nice segment. Also, if you stick around, we're going to have some really cool prize time with Liza Fulmer. Liza Lou is in the house, and she has a really appropriately themed book to give away. You're going to love it. It's so cool. So you have to stick around for that. And it's going to be just a ton of fun because, Renee's here! I'm just so excited. Now, let me go over the theme tonight. The theme tonight is Anthropology. So what happens with these themes is we come up with themes, and it's all about how the designers and all of our crazy, creative, crafty friends that want to demo on the show, how they interpret the whole theme. And you'll see lots of different interpretations tonight, including myself and maybe even Cliff's interpretation somewhere in there. And it's a ton of fun. Really, this show is totally unscripted. We just have a lot of fun doing it, and we just want to bring you a lot of creativity. And each month is a new theme along with new guests. We like to rotate in people that you haven't seen before, which is why somebody like Renee is here. And we'd like to make sure that all of their links and everything that they need to promote is promoted. So we just ask that any links that you want to share, save towards the end of the show so that we can put our relevant links in there to show you how to get a hold of all of our great designers and crafters information, right? Yay. She's reading along.
I know, I'm laughing at everybody.
She's not laughing at you.
No, I'm just laughing that Cliff is definitely outnumbered in this room.
Yeah, for sure. So feel free, if you're newer to Craft-Tastic Live, get used to our very loose format. You can chat on over here, right here. My hand's going right into the chat room. And you can, ask to speak in the after show down below, but the ask to speak button is reserved for the after show if you do have something live to show. And then we're just going to get rocking and rolling. Like I said, Lee Brehon was actually here in San Diego. Oh my gosh, you guys may have seen some Facebook updates on that. She came to Southern California where Renee and I live, and she has this great little craft to show you guys. It actually has to do with some hair accessories. So we're going to roll into that segment. You guys get to watch that, and maybe we all can craft along to it. It doesn't require a lot of materials, and then you'll get a lot of inspiration from that. We'll move on to another fun segment. It's just gonna be so much fun. All right, I dare you to follow along. We'll see what we can come up with. I've got my hot glue gun going. Let's rock on into Lee's segment. Yeah. Hey everyone, this week's theme is Anthropology, and I couldn't be more excited to introduce you to somebody who came all the way to Southern California from Saskatchewan. That's in Canada. Her name is Lee Brehon, and she has a tan.
Already?
Yeah. She has a tan.
Already.
This is Lee Brehon.
Hi, everyone.
And she made a really cool craft that you can make on your travels. Not a lot of materials that you need for it, right? It's a great ponytail holder. Go ahead.
Fantastic.
Put her in real quick. And then we'll rock it on over to Craft Camp. Well, first of all, I want to take the opportunity to thank Andrea for having me live on her show. I couldn't be more excited to be sitting in sunny California on a Sunday afternoon showing you how to make this beautiful hair brooch. And I am even more excited to let you guys know that this was all made out of recycled materials. And we know how much Craft-Tastic loves to use recycled materials. So today's project, we are going to make this beautiful hair clip, ponytail actually, and I'm going to get showing you what we need. So we'll need a piece of plastic of any sort. That is just off a food container from the store. I have another piece of plastic here that's just a piece of book, like file folder plastic. I have buttons, some beads, needle and thread, my scissors and a hole punch, and I have a little bit of flower material and a piece of fabric. And I have my elastic and I have a piece of felt. So to get started, what we want to do is take a piece of plastic, and you just want to, I'm just going to cut this rough and then go a little smaller. But why we want to use plastic to make our hair ornament is because it, if you tie your hair up wet, you're not going to ruin the cardboard behind. So this will hold up a lot better to wet hair. So you just want to take your plastic and cut a circle. Set that aside. So you could use either or. You try to get as close to a circle as you can. I can't really, can you see that all right on the, okay. And then I'm going to take the fabric that I brought for this demonstration, and I'm going to cut a circle about a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch wider than the actual size of the circle that we just cut. Like so. I'm just going to set all this stuff aside now, get all that out of our way. So what we've cut here now is one circle, fabric to match, that's just a little bit larger than our circle, and we're going to make the base of our hair embellishment. The next thing we want to do is take a hole punch and cut a hole in the middle of our plastic and not break the hole punch. Now I think I owe Andrea a hole punch, but that's okay. Now we're going to take the hot glue, and we're going to hot glue the back of our plastic piece and fold down our fabric all around it. You might want to hold this to make it taut as you're going around. And you might have to put some hot glue on a couple of times around. It'll cool down before you can get all the way around. Like so. You have something that looks like that. And this is an old piece of fabric that I've had forever. It is actually retro fabric, so when Andrea and I were discussing plans for this project, I couldn't think of a better fabric to use. It's very Anthropology, and I love the Anthropology website store. Now what we want to do is we want to start to embellish our hair embellishment. So I've taken a needle and thread and I've tied a knot on one end. And then now you'll see why we put a hole in the center of our plastic, because you're going to come up from the hole in the bottom up to the center, and you're going to start adding your beads and buttons. So you're going to just simply start
I'm going to do a few here. I'm not going to do them all, but you're going to do a few. And I've got a tray of mix and match buttons here, or beads, sorry, not buttons. And I'm just going to simply just keep adding my beads and keep going all the way around. So I've put on probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 beads on each round. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to come up through the bottom again, and then I'm going to do this all over again. So I'm going to take my beads and I'm going to add some more. Having really good eyesight and beading is a real good thing. We have pretty good light today in our remote studio. I've added some more beads. I'm just going to go around and up through the back again. And you would keep doing this all the way around your... I'm going to take that hot glue off my fingernail. It's probably very distracting. There we go. And so you get the idea here. Do you want me to finish this, or would you just like me to do the quick demo here of what we're doing so you know how to do it? There we go. And then what we want to do is take a button, and we've got a couple here to choose from, but now I can't decide. I think, now you could really over embellish this if you want. We're going to add something else here that Andrea brought with her today, but I think the white one's going to be perfect. Before we put that button on, I just want to show you, I'm going to set that, I think, to the side here somewhere. Oop. And take the flowers here, and we could add some flowers to this as well. A little bit of hot glue. And we could go around. Probably have to cut a couple of the flowers off, but that's okay. I think this is going to look really pretty. Now, of course, this isn't recycled, but it's not going to waste either. It's being used, so that's a good thing. Anything that gets used is always a good thing. There's no point in having all these craft stashes with product and then not using any of it. So if you want to, you can embellish this even more, is what I'm trying to say. There we go. Now I'm going to save these little flowers that are on here and cut them off, because we're not going to be able to put our felt on, and it's not going to stay on smooth if we have these extra flowers on, so we'll take them off. There we go. Okay, so we've got some flowers on here, we've got some beads on here. Now what we want to do last is add our button. We're going to add our button. You know, you probably want to have a little extra hot glue around the ribbon areas because it looks a little loose there. I'm going to just go back through the center here, find our hole right there. That's so pretty. Okay. And I would go in and I would finish it off with a couple of extra knots. But for right now, I'm just going to finish it off. And I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue here and there, just to secure the ribbon spots. Oh, that's so pretty. I've said that already, but oh, look at that. It just... might have to fool around with a little bit, but the more you put on, the prettier it looks. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is take a piece of felt. Whoops. I'm hot glued to everything here. Okay. And we just want to take a piece of felt and cut a circle. And hot glue that to the back of your embellishment. And you want to just try to cover your outside edges of your fabric on the outside, like that. So now everything should be securely in. And if you just think that everything is, if the flowers or anything are a little loose, you can just go in there with a little bit of hot glue and tighten everything up. There we go. And then the last thing you have to do is tie on your elastic band. We just do that by, and I just went in and sewed on a couple of knots, just like so. Now I imagine this hair ponytail thing with feathers in it, and I mean, you could have seashells, you could have a whole theme thing going on depending on your mood or the place where you're going to wear it. I think the sky's the limit. I don't think there is any limit on the stuff you can use to recycled stuff you can use in around your house to make pretty items for your hair. And there you have it. And I'm going to put that in my hair right now, and I'm going to show you just how fun and exciting that looks when it's all put together.
So that's a really fun craft that you can do. We hope that you enjoyed it.
Wasn't that a fun craft?
Yeah, it was
I think
a fun
anyone
craft.
could make that craft.
I definitely agree. And you can customize it so many different ways.
So many ways.
Thanks for watching. Safe travels.
Thank you. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
Absolutely.
All right.
Let's get on to crafting. Ta-da! Yay! So that was our first traveling segment where we had a crafter that we kind of went to, and we shot that all in her hotel room. Well, technically it was like a hotel conference room. It was a ton of fun. And we really thank Lee for doing that. Now, a lot of you wanted to see a picture of the craft, which makes perfect sense. I get it. You want to see pictures. So here it is. There, ta-da! Her original one that she created is this really cool tribal sort of influence there, and I really liked that. The one that she actually made in the demo turned out to be a lot more floral, but still really cool. And I'm sure she can show you a picture of that on her blog or something like that sometime soon. Some of you were asking why not use fabric instead of the felt underneath, and that's just because felt, you don't have to finish the edges, and it's just easy enough to cut out a circle and then cover up all of those rough edges of the fabric that you have, and it's just perfect. It just works out just perfect. So it was a lot of fun. For those of you filtering on in, you just watched the tail end of a really cool segment with Lee Brehon, and hopefully you'll stick around because you're going to have a chance to win something cool tonight. You're also going to see some other fun segments, such as the Craft-Tastic Live Crafters Showcase. And then who's this chick next to me? I still can't figure out who she is. So
I'm gonna get a name tag.
Yeah, she's gonna have to get a name tag. This is Renee Rounds. Welcome, Renee.
Hello.
She's drinking some beer that looks really yummy. Yay! So it's gonna be a really fun, crafty time. Now, yeah, she followed me home. It was like this trail of glitter that, you know, she couldn't.
All I have to do is follow the glitter when I want to find Andrea.
Yeah, exactly. So lots of fun to be had tonight. Now don't forget to post the link in the room onto your Facebook fan pages, whatever, please, because we love it when more and more people come in live and add to the creative chaos that we call Craft-Tastic Live. We love that, definitely, right? Drink to that. And so a lot of people are asking, you know, a lot of people have asked me, where do you get your inspiration? And this next segment actually is a whole testament to how we get our inspiration. We had a lot of fun at the Museum of Man, and we're going to cut into that segment right now. Hope you enjoy it. Ta-da. You know, everyone's asking me, where do you find your inspiration? And oh, by the way, where do you find a good man? That's why we're at Balboa Park's Museum of Man. Look, it's a little man. We have Nerd Man. The best way to find a man is to follow the footprints. There's no denying people like hairy men, but really? That's right, ladies. He loves long walks in the desert, and he doesn't talk much, so he's perfect. I'll take him. So we found a lot of really cool inspiration at the Museum of Man in Balboa Park, San Diego, California. Some of the guys might be a little old for you, but it was still a lot of fun. So let's get to Crafty. That's where we get our inspiration. Is that inspiration? We kind of went to the Museum of Man, and then we looked at we looked at a lot of men. And then it was it was kind of funny because my husband is shooting the whole segment, and here I am looking for a man. So it was a lot of fun. I hope that all my single ladies, I hope that they got some good man advice, as well as maybe some inspiration. Because that's the way I roll. Now, everybody was saying earlier, why don't we play a little game? Anytime somebody says glitter, Renee has to drink glitter. So it becomes a drinking game. So
oh man.
Yeah, that's glitter. So it's like that really fun night that we get to have with all the girls. Okay, and a couple guys. Sorry, Cliff, we love you. So it is now time for me to show you guys what inspired me for the whole anthropology theme. No, I'm not making a life-size model of Cliff or anything like that, or crafty, glittering Cliff or anything like that. Don't worry, glitter. But I am actually making something that did inspire me from the whole Egypt section of the Museum of Man, which are these really cool bangles. Now let me show you a picture of them. It's not a Guinness, Amanda. It is actually a sour beer. It's a, we'll talk a little bit more about her little beer connoisseurness ship. All right, so let's rock into the segment that is my segment. Stop with your beer, no, just kidding.
There's glitter.
We're going to do this, and hopefully Renee can follow along. Here is a picture of what inspired me, and the final project are these cool canvas bangles, okay? Now, it's a really easy thing to do, and I've never seen it done before, so I actually just wanted to show you guys how to do it. Now, the reason why this inspired me is because I got to see all this ornate jewelry in the whole Egypt exhibit, and in fact, in all of the exhibits, there was a lot of jewelry going on, and I have this really cool canvas that from the canvas book that Lisa sent me, so why not use it? You guys saw me use it last week to make a base. This week, we're making some bangles. All right, let's rock on over to Craft Camp. It was so pathetic.
I know.
I loved it. All right. So before we get started, we're just going to show you what we're using. I'm using Canvas book. Now, this Canvas book, like I said, was from Lisa's graceful and I don't know what else gracious giving from C&T Publishing. You can use any type of canvas that you want. The reason why this one works perfectly for me is because it actually fits around my wrist quite nicely. So it's just the right size. For anybody else that might have larger wrists or smaller wrists, you could consider many different types of canvases, right? Let's see, would canvas be canvas or plural?
Canvasi.
Canvi. Okay, so now what else you're going to need? Now,
gosh, more glitter.
I've done it. Everybody's saying glitter. What else I've done and used is this fabric paint from Folk Art. If you're feeling adventurous, you could use regular acrylic paint on your project. Just know that if you do that, it can, rub off on your hands, and it's not meant to be near a person on their skin. But you can use that. In fact, I took some my little projects and I actually used some regular acrylic. But I'm going to recommend that you use your fabric paints on some canvas, any canvas of your choosing. I happen to have that Folk Art fabric in teal. What you do is you cut off about a 3.5 to 4 inch strip of canvas. And I'll just show you real quick just about how big you need your piece of canvas. So I'm not measuring, but that's about 3 inches. And it's about the length that it takes to create a bangle and go right around my wrist just perfectly. So you can see here. Now it's not going to be that final size because we're going to do some nifty folding here. And then we're going to show you a couple different techniques on how you can secure it and or tie it onto your wrist. Okay, so let's pretend like we did some painting, all right, Renee? Woo, we painted. There you go.
We're really quick.
We're so quick at painting. This is amazing. I painted. In fact, I painted both sides. I'm that good. So I actually have 2 sides of paint. And then, now, Renee only has 1 side. And you can get different effects here. Now, I actually did 1 piece of canvas or a couple pieces of canvases raw, just, raw canvas. If you decide to do that, which actually is kind of a cool look. I really do like the look of just regular canvas. But if you do that, I do recommend that you seal it with something like maybe some clear Mod Podge or some sort of sealer so that you have the loose ends once you cut them.
You don't get the frame.
Yeah, you don't get the frame. So it's really, really just an easy technique. Now that we have our pieces, her piece is much larger than mine, which means she's going to have a chunkier bangle. And
I like chunky.
She likes chunky. Now the next thing that you're going to... She likes beer, she likes glitter, and she likes chunky. All right. So the next thing that you're going to want to have is your hot glue gun. Ooh, Andrea using a hot glue gun. Big surprise. All right. We're going to have to fight over the hot glue gun tonight, Renee. So this could end up in an accident, I think.
Somebody's going to get burned.
Now, you'll notice on Renee's project, I actually left, Renee left
Yes.
while she was painting.
One my painting.
Yes, a strip of about 1 inch of blank canvas strip here. And that's just because when that folds under, that's going to be what's touching your wrist. And, some people don't want paint, or even if it's fabric paint, touching their wrists, which is a really good thing to note. Because, I'm going to have this sparkles, God forbid, on my wrist.
Touching your skin?
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, God, no, not that.
Keep the glitter away.
Yeah, exactly. So here's the trick. Pick up your canvas, Renee. Fold it in half.
Okay.
Get a pair of scissors, which I don't have available right now. Hold on. We're reaching for scissors. I accidentally got beer.
Accidentally.
Now, what you want to do is cut about 1/2 inch strips, but not all the way down. You want to leave about a 1/2 inch to a quarter of an inch is even fine if you do that. The thinner that you create the strips, maybe you want to do a little bit less than a 1/2 inch. Just cut that all the way down, kind of like you're making grass. So this is on the folded line, and then I'll show you a cool, nifty little technique in folding this up and making it look like that cool tubular type of
radical.
It's a radical tubular type of bangle, which is really easy to create. And you notice when we're cutting, because we've already painted this, we have that really nice stiffness, and it's not creating any fraying. All right, so gosh, Renee, you're so slow.
I know, it's all the beer. Quit saying glitter.
All right. So, you guys gotta stop saying that, 'cause she's got a demo later.
I know, I need beer for my demo.
All right, yeah, glitter rocks. So,
Okay.
now you can see that we kind of have this sort of reptile-looking lantern thing here, right? Ooh. Now, I put a lot more paint on this one than hers, so you can see the difference between the two. They'll both set up fine, though, so you'll notice that it'll be just fine. Now you need to put it in its valley position. Right? You want to get in frame a little bit more so we can
Cliffs and valleys.
Cliffs and valleys. Okay, so put it into its valley position and then fold one side in towards the valley. So I have the glitter side in towards the valley. All right, see that? Glitter side in. Hers is raw side in. Now I'm just going to take my hot glue gun. I'm going to run a strip of hot glue. Sorry, I'm not in frame. I'm going to run a strip of hot glue, and then very quickly...
I'm going to get out of frame so I don't get burned.
She's going to get burned. And then very quickly, I'm just going to put the other side of my piece in there. So it kind of makes this neat little tube like that. Yeah, very cool. Look at that. Man, this is probably the coolest bangle I've ever made. So it's really neat. Okay, so that, ooh, I like how mine turned out. Let's see how Renee's turned out. Hers is much larger, and she opted to have the canvas on the outside, and then
I didn't know I had an option.
You have option. Maybe she didn't know she had an option because she's been saying glitter too much. Okay, but what's cool about this, Renee, is that you have the cool inside color. So that's actually a neat effect. And then you can decorate this to your heart's content. You can put rhinestones on it. You can do whatever you want to do with it. And because I haven't been drinking beer, I think mine turned out maybe a little bit better.
Whatever.
But no, there's 2 ways that you can secure this. You can do this the Renee way, which is not
wrong.
No, it's not wrong. It's not wrong, actually. It's the sewing way. It's the right way to do it, which Renee always says you should not be afraid of sewing, and you'll never see me with a needle and thread on live show because I'm really bad with the needle and thread.
Leslie.
Yeah. So you can do it the right way, which is sew it through, and then it will fit on like a true bangle if you've measured it correctly. Look at that. Woohoo! That is cute. Oh, yeah. Look at yours is pretty big.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. It's very, very Lady Gaga dramatic. And
I'm going to show up in an egg next time.
And then if you don't want to do something like that and you actually want to tie it on and not make it a true bangle, all you have to do is take some ribbon and then measure that out to have enough to tie a bow on, and then just glue that right onto your bangle, and then that will just curl right up, and then you can curl it on just like that, and then you can just tie a little bow around your wrist. It is so perfect. It's so easy to do. I'm in love with this bangle. I think, Renee, if you want it.
It is beautiful.
You can have it if you want it.
No, I will keep my wrong looking bangle.
Let's go back to head cam. We're going back to head cam. In 5, 4, 3, 2, face cam! Maybe not. Cliff's not paying attention. 3, 2, all right.
It's like Cliff's been drinking too much beer.
I know. So, Cliff, get on it. So, if you are just coming in, Renee is in studio. Renee Rounds is in studio, and she just helped me make a canvas bangle. She did hers really cute, and I just said that she did it wrong, but she didn't do it wrong. She did it just right. She did it just right. She's looking a little peachy, isn't she, here? And she's also drinking a sour beer, which we'll probably discuss a little bit more towards her segment. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, what you missed, if you're just coming in, you missed a cool segment with Lee Brehon. You also missed a funny segment with Cliff and I at the Museum of Man. And you just missed almost us burning our fingers off together.
I think I did a little bit.
Yeah. Don't blame me.
I know.
And
blame all
Renee
that glitter.
And Renee has to drink
I'm going to run out of beer.
She's going to run out of beer. We can't get her too drunk, though, because she's got to do her demo. Now, a person who is not in studio, but I always feel like she is in studio, is Cynthia, because she just is like a beam of light all the way from Canada. If she's in the room and ready to rock, then we will, if she last minute's in, then we're going to go over to Cynthia's project. And I will display your file, Cynthia, once we go over to you. And also, don't forget to promote your show, about all of your shows, actually, because Cynthia has some great shows. That's not her project. Sorry, I just accidentally clicked on that. She has some great shows to tell you about as well. All right, so here's Miss Cynthia.
Move my camera down, and I will show you what we're going to do. When Andrea was talking about the anthropology theme, we were talking about a lot of, oh, hey, I can see the picture. Look at that. We were talking about all the different variations that might take, and one of them that came up was like world travel. And I thought it'd be really, really fun to do a little box that's shaped like a suitcase. So that's what I've got here for you. And this box actually does open up. There's these little ribbon ties here. And my hands are freezing right now, so just bear with me while I get this open so you can see that it really does open. There we go. So those ties, you can see it's got the little handle on top so you can carry it like a suitcase. And then it really does open up kind of like a little vintage suitcase. And I don't really have anything inside right now because I wanted you to be able to see, but you could, you know, totally line this if you wanted to with some really pretty fabrics or something. I found these little mini tour tickets that I thought would be cute, and I thought, you know, if I've got some images here that if I reduce the size of them, there's like a little passport and stuff like that that I thought would be really neat glued on the inside. And the reason why I made it this size was because you can take a gift card, and a gift card will fit perfectly in there, so it's a nice way of presenting a little gift card, but it will also hold some things like, you know, like Hershey's Kisses and the little mini chocolate bars and stuff like that. So it's a really neat way of presenting a little gift. So to get started, I will tell you that, yes, I made the box, Cindy, and I made it myself doing my little patterns on my graph paper, as some of you have seen me do before. But I also went online and I found a link where she actually has a pattern for a little suitcase template too. So there, I just put the link in for that. So if you don't want to make your own pattern, you can go there. I find it really easy to make these little boxes anyway, and I also wanted to be sure that it was exactly the right size because I wanted to be sure it would accommodate the gift card and some stuff like that. The basics, if you want to make it yourself, let me just fold in all the sides on both these pieces just so you can see. Normally when I make some of these little boxes, I make the bottom and the lid, like I make the lid just a teeny bit bigger than the bottom so that it will nest on top and be a nice snug fit. But because of the design of the suitcase, you just want them to meet. You don't want them to nest like that. So this time I've made the dimensions of the top and the bottom exactly the same, except for the sides of them. As you can see, the bottom of the suitcase I made deeper, and I made the lid a little bit shallower. So that's the only difference on there. And if you use that template that I put up there, that's pretty much how she does it as well. So you'll be able to do exactly the same kind of thing. So those are my patterns, and I just any kind of cardboard that you can fold well enough into the box. I did use cardstock on this one. I had some brown cardstock laying around, so I did use that. This is a file folder that I just cut. I had an old file folder that was no good anymore, so I just took the good pieces out of it and cut out my template out of that, my box pieces out of that. So anything like that will work. You know, cereal boxes and stuff like that, as long as, you know, some of those boxes are a little bit thick. So as long as they're thin enough. Now, with this one, because it was already brown, I skipped the first step that I'm going to show you. But if you're using anything that isn't already sort of a dark color, I'm trying to mimic sort of like a textured vintage leather look on here. So you really do want it to look dark. So what I did with what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to color them first. And I've got just a brown stamp pad, and so I just, you know, I just went over it randomly and got some color on there with some of the brown. Actually, I'm going to do it this way so I can really get some color on there. Okay, so I got some color on there like that. I've got this one, which is the Tim Holtz Distress ink, and it's in the brushed corduroy, and I really like using some of that on here as well, just to add kind of another shade of the brown. And you don't need to get it on the flaps that are going to get folded inside unless you want to. You just need to make sure you've got it on you know, the bottom part of each piece and then the sides of each piece. I'm not covering it totally just because I don't want to take up the time with you watching me do that. And then I really liked, along with some shades of brown, I really liked using some orange in there because I found that really added some of the depth of color that really took on that kind of leathery appearance. And then the other color I really liked was some kind of a yellow. And yes, this really is, it's been colored over a bit, but it really is kind of a golden yellow underneath. So I built up some layers on there. And then the next thing I did was I took my trusty Liquitex Matte Gel Medium and I covered over that, and then I took just plain old white tissue paper, which my camera doesn't like, and I crumpled it up because you really want all of those like wrinkles and crinkles in there because that's really going to get the look of the leather. And then I put that onto my box. Okay, now normally I would let this dry before I go on. It doesn't take a really long time, but I would let it dry a bit before I moved on to the next step, because the next step is to do the same thing over again, because you really, really want to build up those layers to get depth into that leather look. So I'm taking my stamp pads again, and I'm stamping over the top of the tissue paper, and you can see like it's really, really starting to look kind of leathery now. Okay, and I did the same with all the same colors that I used before on the underneath part. And so if you've got any showing from underneath, you know, this helps to kind of really make sure that everything is really covered and is really getting the depth of that leather and showing a lot of the texture. So the same 4 colors that I did with that. The next thing I would do this both on the top and bottom and let those dry, and then I'm going to go around and I'm going to trim all of that off. Okay, so I'm going to end up with this that's covered, you know, just like my little suitcase is covered with the tissue paper and covered with all of the colors of the inks and all of that. And then I'm going to assemble my box. So it's really simple. There's just, as you can see on here, just folding in, and right on that template pattern that I gave you, they give you all the fold lines and the cut lines. So it's just a matter of folding in and making 2 little snips so that you have these tabs to fold in. Okay, and then we go and we start assembling it. Now, I'm not sure, Andrea, I was wondering whether you want me to keep going and do the rest of it, or whether you want to go and do something else, and then I'll come back and show you. Okay, I can come back to it and show you exactly how to put it together if you need me to, or I can just basically show you on this one. So once I've covered everything and I've assembled it, I'm just using some kind of double-sided tape. Just anything will work. That red super tacky tape works really well for assembling the box, I find. So that's a really great way of putting it all together. This one, I don't even know. This is some kind of Canadian brand. I have no idea what it is, but it's just a double-sided tape. Any of that kind of stuff. That's any kind of double-sided tape will hold this together. Or you can use just a plain old white glue and assemble both of your pieces together. And then the part that I really want to show you is right here inside the box. All that is a piece of a brown paper bag. So I've just taken just plain old brown paper bag, and I cut myself a little slip of it to fit between the two boxes. So you don't want it to be really, really deep. You want it to fit nicely in there. It can be a little bit shorter, but it's going to bridge that gap and make your hinge. Ribbon works as well. A little strip of fabric works as well. You could put scrapbooking paper if you've got some pretty paper that you want to highlight inside the box, anything like that. I wanted it to be something brown that would kind of blend on the inside of my box. So I just, again, used some of my Liquitex gel medium, and I glued that in there. And I left it shut for a little while so that that could dry a bit. And then you just want to kind of open and close it, give a couple little creases along there to get that hinge working really nicely. Final steps, once you've got that done, is you can see I've got some pieces of narrow ribbon, and all I've done is wrapped them right around the box and left enough at the top that I can tie them into the little bow ties. I punched holes in the bottom of the box, and all I did for that was use a needle, and I just threaded my ribbon right onto the needle and then just used my needle to punch the hole as I went and sewed the little handle on there. I don't know if you can make it out or not, but there's just little knots on the inside to hold that in place. And then I found these really great images. It's by Paper Journeys. It's a paper collection, and it's got all kinds of really great travel images. So lots of what looks like little stickers on vintage suitcases, things that look like old letters and postage stamps and things like that. And one of the things that I saw inside this, I mean, first of all, they have these images of vintage suitcases, which I thought were pretty cool. But the other thing I thought that would add a really nice touch were these little things that look like the tags on a suitcase. I thought that would be really, really adorable to make as the tag on the gift box. Make a luggage tag that looks something like that, and put that on there as well as your little gift tag. So, where did I get the paper? You're right, it was not dollar store. I believe I've had it actually for several years, and I'm pretty sure I got it online. And just give me a minute and I can probably tell you where I got it from, but the name is escaping me right now. So I'll go look on my Facebook, and I think I can find it there, and then I'll share with you the name of where I got this particular pad of images. But go to Graphics Fairy or someplace like that, and I have seen similar images there as well that you could use too. So that's it. If there's any other questions, I will be glad to share them in the chat room for you. Thanks, Andrea.
That was adorable.
We love it, Cynthia, and you know what we really liked about it? Well, here's what we figure. It's a suitcase.
It's a mini bar.
It can fit mini bar stuff in it, and you just take it on the airplane like it's its own little mini bar suitcase. Right? Right? Okay, anyway. So that is an adorable project. I loved it. It has so many,
very cute.
So many different uses for it, and so many different people that can appreciate it. So I really like that. Now, we have another craft tonight. A really fun, quick, and easy craft that you can do. It's going to be by this lady in gray next to me. Her name's
the stranger that wandered in.
The stranger that followed the glitter trail into Craft-Tastic Live Studio. And it's going to be...
when most people would run, I go towards the glitter.
Yes, exactly. So she's doing this really cool thing. I think that a lot of you are going to like this because it has to do with kind of some memory keeping. You might be able to even call it scrapbooking a little bit here. This is Miss Renee Rounds' project.
Hi.
Here it is here. Let's see if I can show it. Hold on. Ta-da! That's what it is. It's what? How would you...
I call it an accordion fold scrapbook, but it is for... It's perfect for me because I have craft ADD, and I do not have the mindset to be able to go through and finish an entire scrapbook. So this one is perfect because each page is like one picture. It's just kind of like a snapshot of each event or whatever you want it to be.
Okay. So we showed you the picture. You see Renee. Let's rock on over to Craft Cam. She's going to show you all the materials. I might even help out a little bit. Stay tuned also for the Craft-Tastic Crafter Showcase and a chance to win something totally awesome and fun.
All right, so my site is craftsandbeer.com, and that's why I have the beer. I am a huge advocate for craft beer, and this sour beer is nice because it's actually a lot of women like it because it's very little beer-like.
Right, so if you're crafting with Renee, you're going to have some
good beer. You're going to be drinking good beer.
Definitely.
So this project, like I said, is just a little scrapbook. It accordion fans out. So each page is just a little snapshot. And then it all closes up, and you can use whatever you want to seal it. On this one, I used a little brad. You could put a little piece of Velcro in here. And then, so this would be kind of the template, and I told Andrea that I'll put it up on the website later. But this will be your outside piece. It's got the little folded corner that ends up being this. And then you just pretty much, here's one that I already have. You can't really see the crease lines, but they're there. Trust me.
So she used a bone folder to go through, make her lines, and then folded them over.
So then you just fold them in. Like so. And if you guys wouldn't have said glitter so much, I could do this much straighter.
Yes, it's all their fault. Blame it on the audience.
It's all that glitter. So then this would be your cover, and you can see that it's got some give so that you can have your pages. And then this would be kind of the template for the inside pages, where you have 3 pieces cut, which end up being these, which are also folded. And then pretty much what you do is you just fold them into thirds, like this, in accordion style. And then there's a little edge that you'll fold, and then you'll glue that to the next one, and then you'll continue folding.
Pretty easy.
So,
what kind of glue do you use?
I just use the little tape runners.
Okay.
Just like this.
Okay.
So that you can, the width is pretty wide, so you'll have enough room for it.
So basically this project takes 1 1/4 piece
pretty
of
much. You could
paper.
use, this is like a 12 by 12 piece, and you can fit all of your interior pages on it.
Okay.
And then I just use a piece of patterned paper for the outside, because that's what you're going to see. The inside can be a plain piece just because it's going to have other stuff on it.
Yeah.
So I like
Let's
to use
embellish.
Yes. So then, what I did, where's my phone here? So I used to have a Cricut cutter. I didn't use it enough, so I ended up selling it, but I cut out a whole bunch of little pieces before I did get rid of it. So I've been going back and using those. So that's what this is from. And this one is The Adventures of Jordan and Renee. Jordan is my husband. So this
Her lover.
My lover. My beer co-conspirator. So this is just little trips that we've taken, which I only have one in there because I am that craft ADD. So this is just one of the little embellishments that I did, which is a little tags and pocket thing from my Cricut.
So will you pull it out?
You can pull it out.
Oh, cute!
It's not really anything,
but it's just adorable.
It's kind of a cute little thing to add to it. So then on the inside pages, I have one of those little, like what they used to use in the library to stamp your
Love those.
library book.
I have one of those, yep.
Which mine only goes to 2009.
It's old.
I need a new one.
Old memories.
Yes. So then, pretty much when you embellish a page, I use anything. Like, I've got these cute little brads that are, like this one's got a little keyhole.
Ooh, where'd you get those, do you know?
I got these at Michael's. They're memory makers.
Okay.
And then all you do is just poke them through the page. And here, I'll show you on.
Looks like over here, I'm just going to reach across here. She's got something that a lot of you like, distressing. Tim Holtz.
Love
Tim Holtz.
this stuff.
Yeah. So
I use this to age everything and anything. If I could age my clothes with this, I would. And then I could charge like 5 times as much for them.
That is so cool. And that's a good way to age your paper.
Exactly.
And how you're...
So that's kind of how I did these. Like,
Yeah.
I just, let's see. So here's the tags.
I love aging paper with ink.
And I just rub the edges along it, and it kind of gives like a burned old map-ish kind of look
very
to
cool
it.
for this project, definitely.
So
That's
then,
very cool.
here are some that I had already cut out. And like, my last name is Rounds, so I have little
And her first
R.
name is Renee.
I know, it's R squared, round, yeah. So then I'm just going to put some sticky stuff on there and put it on the front of my little album.
Cute. And lots of different ways that you can do the enclosure.
Oh yeah, like I said, you could put a little piece of Velcro in here. You don't even really need anything because it stays closed on its own. And
That's
these
very
little
cute.
R's I had gotten on clearance at Michael's when it was like a box for $1.
Yeah.
So then on the inside, you can do any kind of embellishments. Like we'll put the little keyhole on here.
I like that it's like the abbreviated version of scrapbooking. You know, you can really do it.
Exactly.
It's like pocket scrapbooking.
Yeah, and you don't have
That's
to
cool.
spend so much time where you're like, oh my gosh, I want to be done with
Worried about a gigantic layout to fill out.
And it's no longer fun.
Right.
At that point, you're just kind of irritated.
That's cool. That's
So
really
then-
cute.
Then I just have these little things that I put the names in.
And then voila.
Craft-Tastic.
Craft-Tastic, yay!
Then I would
Cool.
just stick those on there and then put
couple
a
other things.
picture and
You're good to go.
then just do
Cool.
each page.
Cool! Yay, thank you, Renee.
You're welcome.
Cool, let's go back over to face cam. We'll switch it on over. Da-da-da-da, face cam! Yay! So I love all of the variety that we got tonight. It was a lot of fun.
There was a lot.
Yeah, but we're not over looking at people's projects because although we had some great demos tonight from some awesome designers, we also had some people submitting their projects to the Craft-Tastic Live Crafter Showcase. For those people, you were already contacted that you're going to be showcased on the Craft-Tastic Live Crafter Showcase, and that means that you have to get your links ready to share with people when your slide comes up, all right? So we're going to transition on into that. Everybody can ooh and ah, but please don't put any links in the room so that our people in the Craft-Tastic Live Crafter Showcase can actually put their links in and then show off where they're at and what they're all about. All right, let's rock it over to Craft-Tastic Live. fun. Hey, that's what this is all about. Renee was actually just saying, watching all those slides, how great it is to see all the different types of interpretations of a theme, such as anthropology, and see how other people interpret it, and just all the great pieces that you guys submitted. So if you're newer to the new Craft-Tastic live format, which is once monthly, you too can submit your Craft-Tastic Live Crafter Showcase photos for showcase in the live show, and also the recorded version, which we put on YouTube. Hint, hint. This will be recorded and broken up into segments and put onto YouTube. The whole show.